yourself some breathing. Don't cross the river if you can't swim the tide. Don't try to deny living on the other side. Don't cross the river if you can't swim the tide. Don't try to deny living on the other side. Don't cross the river if you can't swim the tide.
1320 KOZY Grand Rapids, a service of Lamke Broadcasting.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. It's day 29 of the partial government shutdown. The president will address the nation later today about the border and the shutdown. ABC's Andy Field has more from Washington.
With no compromise in sight and Congress home again for the weekend, the president tweeting he'll make a major announcement on the southern border humanitarian crisis and the now month-long shutdown on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. His spokesperson won't say if the president plans to declare a national emergency in order to get his border wall funding.
450,000 federal employees are working without pay. More than 300,000 are furloughed. Federal workers could miss a second paycheck next week if the shutdown drags on. Before the president's announcement, he will travel to Dover, Delaware, where the bodies of 4 Americans killed this week in Syria are set to arrive.
President Trump tweeted he will leave for Dover Air Force Base to meet with the families of the 4 Americans killed in Manbij, Syria, the deadliest attack on the U.S. military since troops went into Syria. ISIS did claim responsibility for the attack. The incident comes just 1 month after President Trump declared he plans to withdraw U.S. troops from Syria. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, the White House.
A rare statement from the special counsel's office disputing parts of a BuzzFeed News report attributed to the special counsel's investigation is, quote, not accurate. ABC's Pierre Thomas has more from Washington.
Cohen, who will soon go to prison, has pled guilty to lying to Congress when he told members a Trump Tower Moscow project was abandoned in January 2015, when in reality, negotiations continued until June 2016. Deep into the campaign, the BuzzFeed article, which ABC News has not been able to confirm, alleges that President Trump directed Cohen to lie. But the White House and the president's attorneys pushed back hard, and now the president's lawyers say he is vindicated.
The White House calling the media report, quote, categorically false. You're listening to ABC News.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or more importantly, if you signed up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called Medi-Share. Medi-Share is a Christian healthcare sharing program that's been around for 25 years, and they have hundreds of thousands of members all across the country. And get this, over the years, Medi-Share members have shared more than $1 billion of each other's medical bills. Best of all, you could save a lot of money with Medi-Share. The typical savings for a family is about $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money. Think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have a lot to offer? Well, think again. You can join Medi-Share anytime, so call them today and check it out. Here's the number to find out more, and there's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
In Mexico, the death toll rising following a massive fire. Authorities say now more than 60 people are confirmed dead and dozens of others injured after a fuel line was damaged, sparking a major fire. ABC's Lana Zach has details from Washington.
Authorities say a fuel pipeline ruptured by thieves exploded in a small town of Hidalgo, Mexico, about 62 miles north of Mexico City. Ambulances and doctors were sent to the scene immediately after the deadly explosion. The injured were rushed to hospitals, and all of the inhabitants in the area have been evacuated, according to state oil company Petróleos Mexicanos. The explosive fire is still burning, and fire trucks and foam vehicles are now tackling the vicious flames.
A major winter storm is moving across the country and bringing heavy snow and freezing rain across parts of the Midwest all the way to the Northeast. Some areas expecting as much as 2 feet of snow. And whether you're in the path or not, you could be impacted if you're planning to fly. Cancellations are stacking up. ABC's Ariel Reshef has more from New York's LaGuardia Airport.
That major winter storm taking aim and threatening travel on a very busy weekend. TSA estimating at least 8 million people will pass through its checkpoints nationwide. More than 1,100 flights have already been canceled. And as for the airports most affected, Chicago O'Hare, that storm already striking in that that area. Boston's Logan Airport, JFK here in New York.
It could take several days for airlines to catch up with the backlog of cancellations and delays. This is ABC News.
It's time to join the millions of people using Zoom video conferencing. Turn any size conference room, huddle room, or executive office into a Zoom room with flawless HD video, crystal clear audio, and instant wireless sharing. It'll even work with your existing hardware. Start your meetings with a single touch or use Zoom's new voice command feature. Hey Zoom, start meeting. Huddle happy. Visit zoom.us to set up your free Zoom room trial today. That's zoom.us. Zoom video conferencing.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
ABC News this hour is sponsored by the Woodland Bank.
Today we're speaking with...
I'm Sue Harris, and I am owner of Eagle Nest Lodge along with my husband.
Brian Harris.
The Harris are customers of Woodland Bank.
We came to Eagle Nest Lodge in 1995. We've got 14 cabins from 1 to 5 bedrooms in size, and we're on the north shore of Cutfoot Sioux Lake, which is a bay on the northeast corner of Big Winnie.
Brian said Woodland Bank was happy to work with them.
The immediate impression that they wanted to be on our team and work with us and help us to move forward after the recession beat us up a little bit.
The Harris said they would recommend Woodland Bank.
They're the friendliest bank around, willing to take us on when times were kind of tough.
I think everyone we've worked with has been fabulous.
Feel like they want us to succeed.
Woodland Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
That's the Woodland way. Classic radio weather.
Here's your KOZY weatherology forecast. A wind chill advisory continues until noon today. High temperatures reach up to 2 below. Today, under sunny skies, winds out of the northwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows level off around 25 below. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies expected. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, highs level off around 3 above. About an inch of snow Monday. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Right now, 23 below.
It's time for the Sports Issue on 1320 KOZY and KOZYradio.com.
Carter Cook with the ball. He's at the top of the key, gets space, dribbles between his legs, and buries the three.
Now they make a pass, and it's going to go up the rink. Lawson, he's coming in all alone. Mano a mano, goal! Dante Lawson from lands on the other end.
181-foot pass. Well, you've been offsides. All right, 130-foot pass, right on the money.
From goal line to blue line.
The Sports Issue is brought to you by Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic, Woodland Bank, Daimler Ford, Anderson Glass, and Super One Foods.
67-64. Here's the inbound to Morrison. Fires up a three. Banks it in. It hits the glass, and it ties the game up. 67-67. We're probably going to overtime.
Centering pass. That's intercepted. And another breakaway for Koenig. Comes in. Shot. Goal! Ruby Koenig, and we're tied up.
Now Notre Dame back, but unable to hang on to it. Now a breakaway pass from McLaughlin. Trying to roll in. He shoots. He scores! There's 7 seconds left. McLaughlin scores, and the Gophers lead 2-1.
The Sports Issue starts now on 1320 KOZY. Good morning there, everybody. Thanks for joining us here for the Sports Issue on your sports leader. I'm Joe Gigliotti along with Sheldon Willis, and added an extra highlight or two in there, and I ran out of music.
Well, that's all right.
That's okay. How are you?
Cold.
It's a chilly start to the day, that's for sure. In fact, the whole weekend looks pretty cold.
Yes, it does, and it is Icebox Days up in International Falls.
Is it?
Of course, I have friends there. So this morning, probably starting about now, they're doing a 5K and a 10K run. It's 32 below zero in International Falls.
Well, what better way to spend a morning in 30-degree below zero weather?
So you just get up and think, I'm not running the 5K Freeze Your Gizzard Blizzard run in International Falls.
In fact, I'm going to answer my own rhetorical question. What better way to spend a 30, 25-degree morning? Play some hockey.
There you go. There you go. Andover and Minnetonka set to get underway in an hour and 15 minutes.
Yes, they are.
And they're going to say, why didn't we have Hockey Day in Minnesota in Iowa?
And that'll be the number 1 and number 2 teams rated in Class AA, both undefeated. And, yeah, I don't know how I feel about the 2 top-ranked teams playing in these kind of conditions, just with such a... Yeah. I mean, obviously they're going to be... They're not in the same section, right? Or, Andover's in our section.
Yeah, correct.
So they're going to be likely number 1 seeds either way in their sections. But, I don't know. You would just like number 1 and number 2 to play in... I don't know, better conditions than this, but it'll be a fun spectacle nonetheless.
Certainly it will. But by the way, we never play music on this show. It's a morning for a song.
Okay.
Can you play 0467W? It's fairly short.
Sure. I can do that.
Little shop talk in the background, right?
Say the cart number again.
0467W, I believe.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can play a little bit of this.
And it's an Iron Ranger.
I woke up this morning. It was 40 below. The snow was piled up past my door. It wouldn't be so bad, but I live on the 2nd floor. But I like it here. Had 2 pairs of long johns under 4 pairs of pants, 3 ski sweaters and a hat to match, 2 pairs of gloves and a fur-lined vest. Then I got out of bed and I started to get dressed, but I like it here. It was early morn like so many before. Oh, cold and misery. I put on me coat and walked out of the door. Standing alone on the frozen ground, I went to the place where my beast lay asleep. Oh, cold and misery on 4 tires of rubber, a long cord in its teeth. Standing alone.
It's Charlie McGuire. Oh, cold and misery.
Standing alone on the frozen ground. Yes, and the rest of the song is just a litany of how to jumpstart a vehicle.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
So yeah, along with Minnetonka and Andover, as a part of Hockey Day Minnesota in Bemidji. Of course, later on today, it'll be the Greenway Raiders taking on the Bemidji Lumberjacks. That'll be a 4:30 face-off. Pre-game coverage at about 4 on 96.9 KMFY. Will Tom and Bob turn into green popsicles today?
Tom says Tom's a runner, right?
Yeah.
He said he's got a lot. He's not worried about himself. He's just worried the equipment will freeze. And Bobby's a trapper. Trappers have to have every piece of clothing of it,
Oh, so
available.
they'll be fine.
They'll be fine.
All right. Yeah, guys, just we don't really care all that much about
keep the equipment warm.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the main thing. So yeah, looking forward to that. Should be a whole lot of fun. Greenway and Bemidji, Hockey Day Minnesota, later on today on KMFY. Let's see, speaking of hockey, you were on the call last night for some girls hockey, and they played indoors. It was the GRG Lightning against Andover in a big Section 7AA matchup, and Andover does get a 6-2 win, but I want to say closer than that because it was a 2-2 game, but Andover, outshot Rapids fairly significantly. Yeah.
And for Grand Rapids Greenway, they came out, and we talked about this in the post-game interview quite a bit, but they came out 1 goal down in the third period and came out firing. They had 3 or 4 really good chances in the first couple minutes of that third period to tie that game, and then they give up kind of a fluky goal, another bad bounce goal, and all of a sudden, you're down 3 and it was over.
Goaltender Trask played well in the game, and maybe one or two she'd want back?
Played very, very well. Played right at the top of her game for 2 periods, and then, just some kind of fluky bounce stuff that happened. I think she wants that third period back. That's the way hockey goes. When people talk about puck luck, that's what they're talking about.
With more on last night's game, here's Tom Downing.
The Grand Rapids Greenway Lightning at home take on the number 5 team in the state of Minnesota, the Andover Huskies. They are 16-3 coming in, and the Lightning 13-7. And the final score after 3 good periods of hockey is 6-2 in favor of the Huskies. The Lightning actually led after 1 period of play on a nice goal by Vekic and an assist going to Gustafsson, and that was 3:29 into period 1. Held on even though they got outshot 14-3. A nice job in nets by Trask to keep that game a 1-0 after 1 period of play in favor of the Lightning. Now the Huskies tied it up, and they tied it up on a power play goal. The Lightning took a penalty 19 seconds in, and 54 seconds in, the puck was in the net off the stick of Kraus, and Hemp and Nelson on the helpers there. And then Nelson and Hemp put the Huskies ahead 2-1, and that came 13:51 left in that period. That's the way it stayed till a power play goal off the stick of Vekic.
Now here's Broking. Goes far side, puck in front, shot, goal! Claire Vekic again, and it's 2-2.
Peart and Broking on the helper, so the game was tied with 3 minutes and 1 second left in period number 2, but it went south from there.
Now here comes Nelson, out front, shot, goal. That one will go to Peyton Hemp from Nelson, and just like that, it's 3-2 Andover.
Hemp and Kraus put one in for Andover with 2:12 left in the period. Hemp and Nelson started the third period out with one. Nelson got one unassisted, a short-hander with 10:20 left to make it 5-2 in the final goal, an unassisted goal by Stoffnecker, 7:25 left in that period, and they held on for a 6-2 win, and the Lightning go to 13-8, and they were outshot in that game 37-21 total. Final score 6-2. The Huskies over the Lightning. From the IRA Civic Center, Tom Downing reporting.
And after the game, Sheldon caught up with Claire Vekic and Sadie Peart.
Post-game interview, Claire Vekic, Sadie Peart, a tough loss against a really good team. Claire, talk a little bit about the first period. You get a goal and had a 1-0 lead.
I thought the first period was for the most part pretty well, but they outplayed us the first period too. So I think we just need to make quicker plays and move our feet.
And Sadie, that number 1 line for Andover is a tough line to play against, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say they're good. I wouldn't say they're the best in the state or anything like that. They're definitely beatable. So.
And it looked like in the third period you're down 1, and the first 2-3 minutes of that period you came out with a lot of fire.
Yeah, we did, and then a tough couple goals, like just
weird, funky goals. Yeah.
Yeah, totally broke the momentum, just totally.
And is that disheartening when you come out and you feel like you have a chance to tie this up, you're playing with them, and all of a sudden it gets out of hand?
Yeah, it is tough, but it's also not the games that matter right now, so it's a good learning experience for all of us, and getting experience playing against them and as a new team, and so.
And I know there's been some tough losses over the last few weeks. What has the team learned over the last couple weeks, Claire?
I think you definitely take something from losses. Like our compete level needs to go higher. Nobody really focuses. The focus needs to go up. Everybody just needs to work harder.
And as two of the captains, is that some of your job or is that coach's job?
It's definitely a big part of our job, getting the girls ready, and especially when we go back into the locker room losing, we have to get all the girls riled up and not down on ourselves, more high energy, which we did coming out into the third. That's why we came out so strong.
Well, I know it was a tough loss, but the season's not over yet. Like you said, these aren't the ones that you're aiming for, right?
Right.
Good luck up down the road.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sadie Peart and Claire Vekic post-game last night after the GRG 6-2 loss to Andover. They sounded pretty bummed about that loss.
They were not happy, which is something I liked. I also loved it. They're finishing each other's sentences. They are two captains that are just they're together.
Yes. I was happy to hear that too. That they were that bummed after a loss. It shows you care. It's kind of like
it shows you have high expectations.
Yeah.
Kind
of like when. Before a big presentation or a project or something, a speech, and people ask, "Are you nervous?" Yeah. Well, good. That shows you care.
That's right.
And again, high expectations. Yeah. So 6-2 loss for GRG to Andover. Grand Rapids Greenway now 13-8. They will take on Cloquet Esco Carleton on Thursday. Just a few other girls hockey scores from the Northland last night. Moorhead falls to West Fargo 7-1. It was Brainerd Little Falls shutting out Roseau 3-0. North Shore 3-1 over International Falls, and Detroit Lakes falls to Fargo North/South North Dakota 8-0.
I think that that Roseau game may be a bit of an upset, although Brainerd has now beaten Roseau twice, 2 of Roseau's 4 losses coming against Brainerd.
And let's see, just wanted to check something quick. You said Brainerd. It reminded me. Yeah, did you see that?
I did. That was next on my list as we turn to boys hockey.
The Brainerd boys defeat Duluth East in hockey last night 3-2. How about that?
Brainerd's pretty good. And I know everyone in in Grand Rapids was annoyed at the loss to Brainerd, but all along, and it certainly wasn't the best game that Grand Rapids has played all year. But I'm saying, this is not a bum team. This is a team that's going to surprise some people, and maybe that's a 3-horse race there in 8AA.
And we'll get to boys hockey in just a little bit. Also on today's show, we'll be joined by Grand Rapids Fishing in studio at 8:30. State champs. We reached out to them in the fall, and the email, I guess, got lost in the shuffle. So we're going to have them on here, I believe, a first for the show, having Grand Rapids Fishing on. And then at 9:30, perhaps, joined by Grand Rapids Hockey.
Perhaps. Reached out to them late yesterday, and I was given assurances that they would talk about it in the locker room and see if anyone could make it. So we'll see.
We'll take a quick break and be back on the Sports Issue on KUZY.
If your windows stick, slip, squeak, or leak, replace them with Andersen windows. With low E-glass, low-maintenance exteriors, and rich wood interiors, standard and custom sizes, they can turn simple window replacement into serious home improvement.
Stop and see Derek, your Andersen window specialist at Andersen Glass, Grand Rapids.
Whether you're firing up the grill or pulling out your crock pot, Super One Foods is here to help. Our meat department is stocked with savings and on sale this week. Smithfield, pork sirloin roasts or steaks, only $1.66 a pound. Create a fresh salad with your favorite veggies from our produce department. On sale this week, Dole iceberg head lettuce, 99 cents each. Or make it a fruit salad with fresh blueberries, 2 for $5. Every department has something fresh to offer with endless savings for you. Super One Foods, proud to be part of your community.
So some people are asking, what's this warranty for life business? Hey, Max here from Dollar Ford, and here's the deal. We are giving you a lifetime powertrain warranty on all new and qualified used vehicles. This means engines, transmissions, transfer cases, all the expensive stuff is covered. Plus, you get roadside assistance for 10 years. We're talking towing, service loaners, jump starts, lockout, gas, battery, water, flat tires, you name it. That's how Dollar's lowers the cost on your next new ride. You always get more for your money at Dollar Ford under the big American flag in Rapids.
Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic has been providing orthopedic services to the region for over 30 years. They are providers for most insurance companies, including the St. Luke's Network. They provide non-operative and operative management of injuries and fractures, repetitive work and sports-related injuries, and chronic conditions such as arthritis. Dr. Baker and Jeff Temple accept walk-in appointments for acute orthopedic injuries Monday through Friday from 8 till 4. Call 326-6677. Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic, getting you back to the sport of life.
Have you seen all the fun and different flower arrangements at North in Bloom lately? They're gorgeous.
Yes,
I love their style and plant selection, too.
Oh my gosh, and the candle line there, amazing. Did you know they carry the Cardthartic greeting cards?
No way. That's the one Jenny and Company used to carry, right?
That's the one.
Stop in to North and Bloom today to see all the arrangements, plants, gifts, and Cardthartic greeting cards we carry. North and Bloom, downtown Grand Rapids.
And welcome back to the Sports Issue here on KOZY, KOZYRadio.com for live streaming audio. And if you want to see Sheldon and I's handsome faces, there's a YouTube link at KOZYRadio.com and on Sheldon's Twitter at SheldonKOZY.
You got it.
Our weather forecast is quite chilly. Right now we're sitting at 25 below, but it is sunny. High near 1 below today. So when you think about it, not bad. A good 25-degree warm-up. Low tonight around 25 below. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high of 4. Monday and Tuesday, good chance of some snow, nothing huge. And back into the mid-teens for highs Monday, Tuesday. Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Again, right now, 25 below and sunny. Our time is 8:25. And I was just thinking over the past day or so that the temperature difference from, say, now compared to, average summertime, like 80, that's a good 105 degree difference. It's just insane.
It is, but we like it here.
That's what we do here in Minnesota. Boys hockey action, we mentioned Brainerd upset, you could say, over Duluth East. Other boys hockey that caught your eye, Sheldon?
Wasn't a lot going on in boys hockey last night. St. Cloud Cathedral blanks Virginia MIB 5-0. A few other, Mayport, North Dakota over Ely Northeast Range 8-5. I don't know, somehow that doesn't jump out and say, oh, I should have been there.
You weren't waiting for that score?
No, I was not. But that Brainerd Duluth East game, that's the one that had people chatting a little bit last night.
And, of course, it is Hockey Day Minnesota here today. Minnetonka and Andover, number 1 and number 2 in the state in AA. They're going to face off in about an hour in Bemidji. And then later on today, it'll be Bemidji taking on Greenway in the 4:30 game. Our pregame coverage gets underway at about 4 on 96.9 KMFY and KMFYradio.com. We'll take another quick break. We'll get you M&N News, another check on your forecast, and then...
And cheers for the fishing team.
That's right. Grand Rapids Fishing coming up next on KOZY.
Minnesota News Network, I'm Brent Palm. A winter storm that moved through Friday dumped some heavy snow across southern Minnesota. Some locations are digging out for more than a foot. MnDOT urging drivers to use caution around snowplows after at least 3 were hit by vehicles in Minnesota roads Friday. A motorist should always stay 10 car lengths behind a plow. Well, in this week's National Democratic Radio address, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar takes President Trump to task for the government shutdown now in its 29th day.
Instead of lifting the economic burden of health care and family expenses off the shoulders of our citizens, the administration has chosen to place the cost of its chaos firmly on the backs of the hardworking people of America.
President Trump consistently blames Democrats for the government shutdown and vows that he will not back down. This is MNN.
I wasn't prepared to be a caregiver to Mom. I had no idea how hard it would be and what I would need to know. Things I never thought of, like how to improve her mood and ways for me to stay positive. Luckily, I found the Caregiving Resource Center from AARP. It had articles about the basics, but also information about the hurdles I was facing. Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your loved one and care for yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council. Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Classic Radio weather.
Here's your KOZY weatherology forecast. A wind chill advisory continues until noon today. High temperatures reach up to 2 below. Today, under sunny skies, winds out of the northwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows level off around 25 below. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies expected. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, highs level off around 3 above. About an inch of snow Monday. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Right now, 23 below.
Welcome back to the Sports Issue, 1320 KOZY and KOZYRadio.com. He's Sheldon Willis. I'm Jojo Leotti, and in what I believe is a first for our show, we're happy to welcome in Grand Rapids Fishing, and we have a pretty full boat out there, Sheldon.
Oh, we do. Well, it's not going to sink because everything's frozen right now. So there's no harm in that. But yeah, Grand Rapids Fishing, and it's probably a team that flew under the radar a little bit, at least as far as I'm concerned. I don't know that I got full tournament reports from the coaches, Gordon, after every weekend tournament. We may have to fix that.
Yeah, we definitely will. These kids, the team in general, has had incredible success, and if that's an invite, I'll definitely brag them up all summer for you.
That sounds good. I'm always, and I'll be honest, all summer long I'm looking for anything local to put on sports because people get tired of hearing about a Twins loss.
I can understand that, but these guys are incredible sticks on the water. They've represented our great town here very good, all the way from local events all the way out to national and world events. And incredible success keeps coming in from these guys, and they impress me every day.
So talk a little bit about, and we'll move over here to Kobe. Now, this isn't a sanctioned high school sport, right? What's the organization or the league? Who are you competing against, and how does the team come together?
Yeah, so I think it's in the process right now of becoming a Minnesota High School League sport. But we're a club from the high school, and we fish against other clubs a lot. I guess it's getting pretty popular now. A lot of the high schools around the state are kind of getting into it, and so we fish against their high school teams.
And is there the same? We'll bring Alex.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think I've got all the names. Alex, is it? And you have to be part of the high school to be part of this team, or they're the same type of eligibility requirements that you get for other high school sports?
Yeah.
So you gotta, but it's summer, so you're not actually in school. So and maybe I should ask a coach here, grades based on the last semester, as far as eligibility.
Yes, for the high school team, they have to have graduated 8th grade. And I think Kobe downplayed it a little bit. There's a lot of teams involved. He's just being nice here. But when these kids are competing, they're competing against sometimes hundreds of other teams. So when we say we're having success, it's not everyone gets an award type of success. These guys are doing very well.
So what's been the strength of this team, and talk a little bit about the format of a typical tournament?
Well, I think the strength really is we're all together. We fish as a team, as you'd say, and
four guys, one boat, or two guys, two boats?
We have 2 anglers and we have a captain. So they don't want a bunch of 16 and high school students just running around in big bass boats. So they have a over 21 age captain.
Okay, and he has to drive?
Yes.
Okay.
We have the spots and all that, but he just drives us to the spots.
Do they have to pick can you pick the spot, Gordon, or are they the ones in charge of where you fish?
I'll back up a little bit there. Yes.
Okay.
Each school has a team as a whole, and in our case, we had last year 23 students. But when they're fishing in competition, it's teams of 2. And with that team of 2 it's a 19-year-old or older captain that basically his job is to run the boat. And depending on what there's different organizations that host these events, and there's different rules. But in general, the captain, he can provide help in a lot of different ways, and some are more restrictive than other. But in general, the kids have their ideas what they want to do and where they're going to go, and they provide that to the captain. The captain basically drives them around. The students generally run the trolling motor, all the electronics, do all the fishing. The captain is just merely there to drive them around. And a lot of these guys, almost all of them, are way more capable than that, and they could be running the boats, but for insurance type reasons and liability, the captains are running it.
So, and we'll go over here to Nick. See, I'm 100% here so far this morning, Joe.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, well, the old man, the brains aren't frozen this morning. So, how many boats on the water for Grand Rapids? You say two on a team plus a captain. Are you just fishing one boat, or how many boats in a normal tournament?
Last year I think we had normally like 9 to 11 boats, something like that, per tournament.
Wow.
So yeah.
So and a bass boat doesn't come for $19.95.
It does not.
So talk a little bit about putting together equipment and putting that many boats fully equipped with electronics and so on the water.
Yep. Well, some of the anglers on the team, they have parents who have some of this equipment, and then a huge help to the team is we have boat captains that help out with the team, volunteers for that, and so they'll come for the weekend and give the kids or give them the opportunity to fish the tournament, use their boat, use their equipment even. So that's a huge help for our team for the kids that don't have that capable or available to them.
So Alex, you're not fishing your own boat. You didn't buy a $60,000 boat for the year? No. How much fun is it to be able to fish every weekend or a number of weekends and use some pretty nice equipment?
It's pretty good. We don't always use high quality boats. Like, we'll have tillers, and basically if it's over 16 feet and runs, you can use it.
Okay.
So, but when you get to fish out of them nice boats, it's quite fun.
So there's some difference depending what weekend you're running. There may be some difference in the equipment you get to use.
Yep.
I'm not hearing that mic as loud as we should here, Super Joe. Anyways, we'll keep going. I can basically we'll. No, Super Joe, that mic is dead. And we're not sure why, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, we'll just we'll just share these mics and keep going. Live radio.
That's right.
Live radio. You gotta love it. That mic has always worked before. So is there a pecking order where the top team gets to pick their boat and then it kind of goes down from there?
Not really. If you just got to ask the captain beforehand, before other teams do.
Oh, okay. So who usually had the nicest boat out there?
The kids with the parents that had it.
Okay. Who had? So you had the nicest boat out there because your dad had the nicest boat?
No, I wouldn't say that.
No. What is the? I guess talk a little bit about practice time and how do you become a top-notch fisherman in high school, because a lot of the good fishermen I know are older than I am and they fish forever. How do you get that experience when you're still young?
I think to be good, you just got to fish as much as you can, and you pretty much got to fish more than everyone else, and you'll gain more each time you go out, and yeah.
And this is bass fishing?
Yes.
Primarily or exclusively?
Yeah, no, I think there's a couple multi-species tournaments that different circuits put on each year, but for the most part it's bass fishing. That seems to be where the primary sport of fishing is going, and at least at least up here. I know there's a lot of like walleye circuits and stuff up here, but down south it's all bass fishing. So.
And there's good bass fishing around. Without giving out, you can't tell me any hot spots, of course, Alex. But can you get in general some lakes that you practice on around here and like to fish?
Pokegama, that's like, I don't know, that you can catch smallmouth or largemouth there. It's just a really good lake to fish. And then it's just all those other little lakes that have.
There's largemouth in every lake around here. It feels like, isn't there?
Pretty much.
Anyways, I've run across them. It's like, wow, I didn't know there were bass in this lake. That's nice. And technique-wise, how much does it change as the summer goes along, and depending on the weather?
It's crazy how much it changes. I don't know. Is what we usually do. Like if we go out, we usually just try different techniques until like one works, and just figure out a pattern.
So there's and are you two usually a team?
Yeah, we should
Okay.
explain that. Me and Alex are partners.
Okay, and are you two?
Me and Nick are partners.
You and Nick are partners. Okay, and you never get a partner. No one wants to fish with you.
My partner's not here.
Oh, okay.
So,
And is there competition among the team? You talk about having 20-some people on the team.
Yeah, it's pretty competitive most of the time. Almost every single tournament, it's fun. All the competition and.
And practice-wise, it's probably not like practicing for basketball or hockey or something, because you can go out anytime, right? Do you set it up with Easton and you say, hey, let's go fishing tonight? That's your practice.
Yep, so normally tournaments will set up a certain time when you get to pre-fish until then. Normally it's like a day before the tournament, something like that. So yeah, normally we'll just spend a day or two, maybe even more, going down to the lake, whatever, and try and just get as much time on the water and learn as much on the lake as we can.
Chatting with Grand Rapids Fishing here on the Sports Issue, and you touched on it briefly, Sheldon, but how does weather play into fishing? Like if it's raining, what happens?
If it's raining, we're still fishing. The only time when we're not, or when the tournament might get delayed or canceled, is if there's severe weather like lightning. But otherwise, if it's downpour, we're still out there.
Nice. Any extra rain garb for that or stuff?
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
yep, yeah. We all have rain gear for that. Otherwise, it gets pretty wet out there if it's coming down good.
And life jackets required?
Yep. Yeah. Some tournaments, certain tournament organizations require an inflatable life jacket, and other ones require a foam life jacket. But otherwise, all tournaments require a life jacket.
And Colby, any team bonding with the fishing team as far as everybody dyeing their hair blonde or things like that?
No, it's not. It's not like your typical sport where you're going to practice every day after school or whatever. Basically, we're meeting once every other week or once a week. Just kind of grouping together and talking about fishing and past experiences over that amount of time, and just kind of preparing for the next tournaments. Where as a group, we're kind of just going out and fishing together on our own. You basically put in as much time as you want, and that allows, if you want to get better, you're obviously out there every day. So.
And Coach, how's the youth interest, the younger ranks for Grand Rapids Fishing?
Well, thanks for bringing that up. It's growing leaps and bounds across not only the state but the nation. Our team has been together for now. This will be our third year. This year will be us going into our third year. We started out with 13 members. Last year, 23. February 1st, 7:30 up at the high school band room. We're going to have our kickoff meeting where I invite parents, any student who might be interested, anyone who might be interested in being a captain, anyone who wants to learn anything about the fishing team can show up, and we'll have a handful of us there and some coaches that'll answer questions. Like I said, any student graduating 8th grade after the school year is eligible, and the idea of having to have a fancy boat, that's just not accurate. Any boat that meets the legal requirements, which typically is 16 feet, sometimes you need a live well, sometimes you don't, and typically a trolling motor is a necessary item, but that's all it is. And there's a whole bunch of boats just like that out there doing these events, and some of those teams are out there kicking butt. So we do not need fancy bass boats to do this, but yep, there are days when that's sure nice to have, but certainly not necessary.
and state champions this last year, right?
Yeah.
So,
Alex and I, yeah.
So, and when you say state champions, it's a pair that it's not overall as a team. So
I don't really know how it worked. We got a state championship plaque that we're able to give Ann Campbell as a team, but like individually as our
it was
team.
It was your 2-person team.
Yeah,
that
and
won.
that's for BASS. There's a couple different circuits. So like Easton a couple years ago won that what would it be the FLW state tournament, and so there's a couple different state tournaments that go on throughout the state, but Alex and I were fortunate enough to win the BSS one this year.
So Alex, run me through the state tournament weekend and the excitement of winning.
Well, it was, I don't know. We just went out there just to do our best. We knew that there's a lot of good people out there, and we had to perform really good.
It was on Pekagama, by the way.
Oh, so you had a home field advantage.
Yes, so it changes every year, but it was obviously nice to be at home.
Yeah, but it felt really good. We led day 1 by like 3 pounds, and so we got like a really good confidence about going into day 2, but we knew we had to do good day 2.
And able to defend that lead. And did you win did you win by 3 pounds? Did you win?
I'm not quite sure.
It might have been
more than 3. So
I think we ended up. I think it ended up being like 5.
So you added to your lead day 2.
Yeah, that was nice. No, we had a pretty successful day on day 1. It was nice to get out to an early lead, and then obviously day 2. The stuff we were doing day 1, like you said, weather changes everything, and so day 1 was completely different than day 2, and we kind of had to adapt to everything that was going on with the changing weather. It was in late August, so there's a lot of stuff happening in the fall, so we just kind of had to go with the flow on day 2, and it ended up working out.
So, and how many teams had qualified for that state? Did you just have you 2 fishing in it, or were you guys in it as well? That state tournament weekend?
I think almost all the kids on the Rapids team were fishing it.
Okay. And were you all cheering, or were you all trying to run them down to say, come on now?
We're all trying to get the lead, but if one of our team is in the lead, we always cheer them on.
So what is the toughest lake to fish, the toughest lake that you fished last year? Easton, I haven't had you in here too much.
It was definitely Kentucky Lake down in Tennessee. That was rough.
And why? I guess why was it rough? What was rough about that? Just everything's completely different down south.
It was dead of summer. It's like 100 degrees out, and we just couldn't catch much fish, and it was just so hot. It was not fun.
You agree with that?
Yeah, it was miserable. Yeah, the fishing was not very good. It was super hot. I mean, you couldn't even drink enough water to keep up with it. How much you were sweating, it was terrible.
Yeah, they actually had breaks during the tournament where like 15 minutes, like you had to stop fishing because it was just like it was so hot you just couldn't handle it. It was bad.
So was everyone else having a tough time fishing as well that weekend? Like the bag weights were low?
Yeah, it was tough, definitely. Some of the local kids, they were pretty much the ones who came out on top. I mean, there were some other teams from all across the nation that came out, but yeah, it was tough for everybody.
Toughest Minnesota lake you fished?
Man, toughest Minnesota lake. Mille Lacs haunts me. I don't know what it is, but Mille Lacs Lake is a great fishery. Obviously, you've probably heard about the giant smallmouth that come out of Mille Lacs Lake, but don't get me wrong, it gets pressured pretty hard, and it's just getting more popular.
And are bigger lakes harder to fish like that? You talk about Mille Lacs, and it's this huge body of water. Is it tougher to find fish then? Pekagama seems a little more restricted, and then there's smaller lakes than that as well, where it's like they got to be here.
Yep, I guess that's part of the practice, is just looking at maps and spending that time even when you're off the water, just looking at maps and considering the time of the year and the weather conditions and what that's going to be, and then just bringing it down to like smaller areas that you might want to target to find your fish.
Favorite lake that you fished that's not in Itasca County?
I want to say Mille Lacs, but I haven't caught too many fish out of there.
Okay. Well, and what do you like about it? See, Kobe doesn't like Mille Lacs. Kobe's like, keep me off
It's
of
all
that.
about
lake."
confidence. It's definitely all about confidence.
Well, typically I haven't caught many fish out of there, but the fish that I have caught out of there are pretty big.
And and that's pretty much smallmouth in Mille
Yep.
Lacs. What are the difference between targeting smallmouth and largemouth?
There's a lot. I don't know. I don't know. It's just
There's a pretty big difference.
Well, certainly,
Yeah.
certainly.
Smallmouth are typically known to be more finessey, I guess, if you kind of know what that means. Where like it's lighter line, usually clear water. You have to change up a lot of stuff how you're doing. They can be more aggressive. Sometimes they can be not aggressive. I don't know. It's always changing.
They're called. We always called them the ghost fish because
Yeah.
they appear and then they're gone.
Exactly.
Where largemouth seem to be, they hang you. It's like they're here. You know they're here.
Exactly.
So you said you have a meeting coming up February, right, to get next year's team underway. Do you have a limit on how many people you would take on the team, or as long as you can put them on the lake, we're going to go?
We have not. As far as the tournaments go, sometimes it is restricted on the lake, but as far as kids on our team, we have not set a limit. We haven't had to worry about it at this point. We would welcome anyone. If it gets to the point where it gets really big, I'll definitely have to reach out for some help, and the community and captains, so to say, we'll have to hunt some down because when these students come forward and want to fish on the team, not all of them have access to boats. So that's one of our biggest challenges for the team.
Is put boats together and get all the equipment together. So we've talked about the big equipment, but as far as you're going to blow a lot of money in lures, in rods, in reels. Can I ask how much money do you have in equipment, Kobe?
I don't even want to add it all up. Yeah, like you said, it gets pretty expensive, but like that being said, you don't need the best equipment. If you love fishing, you can,
Right.
you can go out and use, one rod, one reel, couple lures. It doesn't take a lot as long as you have passion for the fishing. Anyone can come out and fish.
You're not going to come clean with how much
No,
you have.
I'm not. I can't even add it all up.
And Easton, you're on the basketball team too, yes? Yep. All right. Now, I like to ask athletes what they can take from one sport to another. Can you take something from basketball and fishing and, kind of focus points?
I think in both of them you need confidence.
Uh-huh.
In basketball, you need confidence in your shot and just confidence that you can do it. And same with fishing, you need confidence that you're going to catch some fish, and that'll help out your success.
And concentration, perhaps, too?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And one more for Kobe, too. Bigger adrenaline rush, playing in front of 20-some hundred in front of against Greenway at the IRA, or reeling in a big bass?
Yeah, definitely. There's a difference. You're in basically a room full of thousands of people with hockey. But that being said, down at Nationals on Kentucky Lake this year, there's 350 boats, and so seeing just like a whole entire bay filled with all these different boats and all these different anglers, as well as it was broadcasted on TV and all this stuff, that gets the blood pumping too. So
we got to get the pep band out to a fishing event.
Yes,
right on
the beach.
Yeah,
yep.
I like it.
We'll talk to Gundy about that, right? I like the way you go there, Super Joe. That'll work. Goals for this coming year. I guess your goal is to repeat, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to, kind of get in on these other tournaments, be successful in these other circuits as well. Easton and Nick, they were the team of the year in another circuit, and so obviously trying to go after their title. But
what's your goal as you and Nick here for the next year?
Number one goal is obviously to repeat team of the year, but another state championship that'd be good too.
What lake? Do you know what lake the state championship is going to be on this year?
One of them is on the Mississippi River, and the other one has yet to be determined.
Okay. And what part of the Mississippi? Mississippi's kind of long.
It's pools 4 and 5. I'm not sure. It's by the city somewhere down south.
And your goal to have your partner come with you to these things to support you a little bit, Alex?
Sure. I'd like to place in the top 12 a lot, and as much as I can, but mostly just to get out there and have fun.
How much time, as we wrap this up, how much time fishing? How much time do you spend fishing other than the tournaments and pre-fishing? Do you concentrate on getting out during the week and just getting on the water a lot?
I try to go as much as I can when I'm not working. So basically every day, whether it be for 1 or 2 hours, I'm basically always out there.
And I know, as I've talked to other tournament fishing, I used to cover the bass tournament up at Rainy Lake every year for the radio station there. The big difference between tournament fishing and what people call pleasure fishing is I'll go out when the weather's nice. It's a nice night, I'll go out on the lake. It's not nice, I'm going to stay home and do whatever. How do you have to discipline yourself a little bit to say, hey, it's raining and a 15-mile-an-hour wind, but I need to get out there and figure out these conditions, even when it's not a tournament?
Yeah, some days even that bad weather pushes us even more to get out there. Just, I don't know, there's something about it. Just, I mean, there's been days where we came back and the rod lockers have been filled with water. I mean, it's so windy and everything's soaking wet. You have to let everything dry out for a couple days. I don't know what it is about it, but it just always keeps you going for more.
Is that your partner talking, or you back him up on that, Easton?
No,
does he have to drag you out, or is it a joint thing?
Oh, we both have the same drive to go out whenever we can. It's sometimes the fish even bite better when it's downpouring. So, like I know some lakes around here where they get shallow and stuff, and it's really fun to throw frogs and stuff in the rain. It's fun.
If my dad wasn't along for most of the trips, I think we'd go out every day.
Just
regardless of the weather.
Doesn't matter, just go.
He's the one that holds us back.
Okay. Well, because he's paying the gas bill?
Yeah, and he doesn't want to get electrocuted.
Oh, okay. That'll work.
As a coach, these guys are totally driven, and they, I tried to teach them versatility and never give up. And part of a tournament angler, or part about being a tournament angler, is you never know what conditions you're going to have thrown at you. And these kids, they're young, but they still have this incredible drive, and they go out and they not only just flat out love to fish, but they love to go out and test every condition. And then these kids that continually rise to the top are doing that because they're thinking ahead, and they're thinking, okay, in a tournament, I need to know what's going on at this condition or this condition. And that's what you'll see from these kids, the drive to keep going, and that's what we preach at these practices, and never give up and always keep changing to try to figure out what's going on, with the understanding that might change 10 minutes from now.
Well, it's been a lot of fun, and good luck as soon as the ice melts. I'm sure you'll be out there. Well, when do the bass start biting? As soon as the ice is out?
Well, they even bite under the ice.
Yeah.
I have never caught one through the ice.
Right now, but
okay.
Not when's. Do you know when fishing opener is?
Second Saturday in May, I believe, is the 12th. But
yeah.
It's an old wives' tale that the bass quit biting. They truly do bite all year. It's just a matter of getting out there and figuring out what's going on and having it be legal.
Well, absolutely. Well, I'm sure you're always doing that.
Mm-hmm.
No poachers here.
No, definitely looking forward to the first tournament, which is June 1st, 2nd. Okay. So can't come soon enough.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's the non-poaching Grand Rapids fishing team here on the Sports Issue on KOZY. We'll take a quick break. ABC News on the way shortly. And we'll cover some wild, wolves, gophers, and more. KOZY.
Whether you're firing up the grill or pulling out your crock pot, Super One Foods is here to help. Our meat department is stocked with savings, and on sale this week, Smithfield, pork, sirloin, roasts, or steaks, only $1.66 a pound. Create a fresh salad with your favorite veggies from our produce department. On sale this week, Dole iceberg head lettuce, 99 cents each. Or make it a fruit salad with fresh blueberries, 2 for $5. Every department has something fresh to offer with endless savings for you. Super One Foods, proud to be part of your community.
So some people are asking, what's this warranty for life business? Hey, Max here from Dowlier Ford, and here's the deal. We are giving you a lifetime powertrain warranty on all new and qualified used vehicles. This means engines, transmissions, transfer cases, all the expensive stuff is covered. Plus, you get roadside assistance for 10 years. We're talking towing, service loaners, jump starts, lockout, gas, battery, water, flat tires, you name it. That's how Donliers lowers the cost on your next new ride. You always get more for your money at Donlier Ford under the big American flag in Rapids.
The OK Factor is a glorious mashup of classical Americana and Gaelic folk influences featuring cellist Olivia Dirks and violinist Carla Colahan. Their music is infused with Americana and Irish fiddle styles with an artistry that reveals their classical training. You can enjoy the infectious music of OK Factor Tuesday, January 22nd, 7:30 in the Wilcox Theater at the Rife Center in Grand Rapids. Tickets available at rifecenter.org, by phone, or at the Rife box office. Sponsored by Minnesota Public Radio.
When you're looking for the right product for a driveway, backyard, or other outdoor project, you can trust Hawkinson Sand and Gravel to deliver the right product. Their lab personnel test all of their construction aggregates to ensure they meet the standards set by the state of Minnesota, and they can customize products for your specific needs. Hawkinson Sand and Gravel on Range Line Road on the west side of Grand Rapids for all your aggregate needs. They are a premier supplier with competitive pricing. So call 326-6681 or stop in today.
Today, we're speaking with...
My name is Dr. Jared Berggren, and the name of my business is Berggren Family Chiropractic. I run a chiropractic clinic out in Balsam Township. We've been open for almost 10 years now. I'm mainly treating chiropractic patients, kind of have an all-natural storefront in the clinic itself.
Dr. Berggren moved all his banking services to Woodland Bank.
Well, I was looking for a bank to consolidate some small business loans from when I started up my business. And I was just looking to streamline things, and after talking to Kurt Werner at Woodland Bank, he sure seemed to make that an easy process for me. My wife and I do all of our personal banking there now. We've transitioned everything business and personal over to Woodland Bank, from checking to savings, and it just helped my business move a little more smoothly.
Woodland Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
That's the Woodland way.
Let's get something started during Hibbing Chrysler Center's 25th anniversary sale. All month long, register for prizes, including the grand prize, floor seat tickets to Dirks Bentley at Amsoil Arena in Duluth with special guests John Party and Tennille Towns. Hibbing Chrysler thanks you for your support the past 25 years with an anniversary sale you just can't miss. New Ram Classic Quad Cab 4x4, lease for $199 a month, or the all-new Ram 1500, lease for just $299 a month. And the Jeeps. New Jeep Renegade, lease for $99 a month. New Jeep Compass, just $149 a month. New Jeep Grand Cherokee, $299 per month. And the new Jeep Wrangler, $249 per month. Hibbing Chrysler will take anything on trade. Every pre-owned vehicle is on sale. What are you waiting for? Start something new during Hibbing Chrysler's 25th anniversary sale. 36 months lease, 10,000 miles per year OAC. The Start Something New event and 25th anniversary sale all month long at Hibbing Chrysler Center. Right on the Beltline, right on the corner, and right on the price.
1320 KOZY Grand Rapids. Your best choice for local news, weather, and sports.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. President Trump traveling to Dover, Delaware this morning to be with families of Americans killed in northern Syria by a suicide bomber. Their bodies arriving at Dover Air Force Base, the Islamic State claiming responsibility. Before leaving the White House, he talked to reporters on the South Lawn, saying this might be the toughest thing he's had to do as president. The president also says he will make an important statement later this afternoon on the partial government shutdown.
President Trump is set to deliver what he calls a major announcement from the White House on the government shutdown and southern border. The standstill over the border wall now in its 29th day. The president even threatening weeks ago to sign the National Emergency Declaration in order to bypass congressional approval for funding of the wall. No details yet as to what exactly the president will say. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, the White House.
A rare response issued by Special Counsel Robert Mueller's office disputing sections of an online media report related to the Special Counsel's investigation. The story claims the president allegedly directed his former attorney Michael Cohen to lie in testimony to Congress. ABC's Pierre Thomas is in Washington with more.
A spokesperson for Special Counsel Robert Mueller issuing this rare rebuke. BuzzFeed's description of specific statements to the Special Counsel's office and characterization of documents and testimony obtained by this office regarding Michael Cohen's congressional testimony are not accurate. The special counsel's statement does not address every allegation in the article, but takes issue with how BuzzFeed reports the actions taken and the evidence gathered by the Mueller team.
The White House calling the media report, quote, categorically false. In Mexico, the death toll rising following a massive fire. Authorities say more than 60 people are dead, dozens others injured. The state oil company says a fuel pipeline ruptured by thieves exploded in a town about 60 miles north of Mexico City. You're listening to ABC News.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or more importantly, if you signed up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called Medi-Share. Medi-Share is a Christian healthcare sharing program that's been around for 25 years, and they have hundreds of thousands of members all across the country. And get this, over the years, Medi-Share members have shared more than $1 billion of each other's medical bills. Best of all, you could save a lot of money with Medi-Share. The typical savings for a family is about $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money. Think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have a lot to offer? Well, think again. You can join Medi-Share anytime, so call them today and check it out. Here's the number to find out more, and there's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
A massive winter storm is bearing down on parts of the Midwest right now, bringing heavy snow and freezing rain across the Midwest and moving east. Airports are facing thousands of delays and cancellations. ABC's Kenneth Moten is in Chicago.
This morning, whiteout conditions across parts of the Midwest as this major winter storm strengthens. Near Kansas City, snow blowing sideways, making for treacherous travel. Cars abandoned on the side of the road. In Chicago, heavy snow is blanketing the city, where nearly a half a foot is expected. In Wisconsin, plows are at work as crews try to keep the roads clear. Also this morning, avalanche warnings in 3 western states after the storm dumped feet of snow in parts of the Rockies.
In a few hours, thousands are expected to gather in Washington, D.C. and across the country for this year's Women March and demonstrations. This year, though, there are some growing pains.
Criticism, including charges of anti-Semitism, causing divisions in Saturday's women's marches, even causing New York City's march to split into 2 events. The march's co-president, Tamika Mallory, under fire for her ties to Louis Farrakhan, who has made anti-Semitic and homophobic statements in the past. But march organizer Linda Sarsour insists her organization fully condemns hate.
We have multiple statements where we have unequivocally rejected anti-Semitism, homophobia, Islamophobia, transphobia.
But several backers have pulled their support, including the Democratic National Committee.
ABC's Linda Lopez. This is ABC News.
A good night's sleep starts with the right pillow. That's where MyPillow comes in, and we're excited to announce the new 4-pack special. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special tab, and save 50% off the 4-pack, which includes 2 MyPillow premiums and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. Use promo code SKY at checkout or call 1-800-635-1825. That's 1-800-635-1825. Or go to MyPillow.com, click the 4-pack special tab, and use promo code SKY at checkout.
I'm Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Classic Radio weather.
Here's your KOZY weatherology forecast. A wind chill advisory continues until noon today. High temperatures reach up to 2 below. Today, under sunny skies, winds out of the northwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows level off around 25 below. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies expected. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Tomorrow, highs level off around 3 above. About an inch of snow Monday. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Right now, 25 below.
And welcome back to the Sports Issue, hour number 2 here on a chilly Saturday morning. I'm Joe Gigliotti along with Sheldon Willis. Kobe Canning still hanging out with us as well, representing the fishing and hockey team here this morning. We may have some other hockey players at about 9:30. I thought that might have been one that was coming down the hall, but it was Tom Downing.
He is a hockey player, or was.
He is, but I think his eligibility is up.
A few years ago.
Yeah.
His college eligibility is up.
But
His
Tom,
senior eligibility is gone.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom.
well, only one kind of senior eligibility. Well, okay. He's
By the way, I have a non-sports announcement that I can make.
Okay.
We got Becky, who everyone here loves.
Yes.
Our receptionist, traffic person, had her baby yesterday. It's on Facebook, so I can make the announcement, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Grayson Richard Kingsley was born 11 o'clock last night.
So they didn't go with Sheldon?
No, they did not. Not even for a middle name.
Oh, brutal, man.
Thought maybe they'd go with Kobe, being their hockey fans, but
Well, hey, congratulations to Becky and Ryan. Very
Yes.
exciting. And, all right. Very cool.
I said we could live stream it on YouTube, and she said that was a hard pass.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's see. Tom Downing was on his way to Hockey Day in Bemidji.
Gonna catch a little of the Andover Minnetonka game, isn't he?
Yes, I turned it on the TV on FSN. It does indeed look quite cold, and hopefully he'll be okay. He looked well dressed for the occasion.
Yes, he did. So, Kobe, do you look at days like this and say, "Oh, that'd be so much fun playing in a hockey day in Minnesota"? Or are you like, "No, I'll stay in the arena. This looks nasty."
No, I was there a couple years ago when it was out on Pekegama, and that day was cold as well. But no, obviously hockey.
You weren't yet on the varsity team.
No, I was one of those little kids just trying to peek my head over the boards. But no, hockey day is obviously it's super important to Minnesota and the culture that it brings to the state, and it's a day that I look forward to every year.
And it just seems right when it's in northern Minnesota and it's 20 below.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now I know all those kids today have got everything they're trying to cover up. No bear skin out there, but obviously they're going to be cold, but they're going to have a blast.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's enough clothes for the Andover and Minnetonka teams.
Yeah, no kidding.
The I don't know. At least our thought is, they're a little softer, right? Those Metro teams.
Yeah, no. Hopefully they can stay warm. I don't know. Might need some hand warmers in the gloves or something, but.
Thankfully, it looks like the winds won't be nearly as bad as they were in Rapids, and no blowing snow and that much. So, good luck to everybody. Let's see. We haven't talked basketball at all.
We have not. We should have kept Easton here too. Then we could talk more basketball because Grand Rapids boys, they get a big win on Thursday, I believe, over Duluth East.
Yeah, was it 69-59?
75-69.
Thank you. There you go. Big win there, yes, as they're looking to get some momentum as they get toward the midway. Almost,
yeah. And I think John Sutherland, 36 points in that game.
And last night we had Deer River boys basketball on KMFY as the Warriors were taking on Virginia in Virginia. And in this one, Deer River looked like they might pull off the win, but it wasn't to be. The Blue Devils get the victory. Let's check in with David Moody with our recap.
With your post-game wrap-up, the Virginia Blue Devils took care of business against the Deer River Warriors. Final score 73-51. Wasn't always going to be that way, at least you didn't think it. The Warriors got off to this game to a blistering start. They opened up a 10-point lead over the hometown Blue Devils, but the Blue Devils called the timeout, and then they got to work, leading at the half 39-29, and ultimately winning the game 73-51, led by junior forward Jaden Bernard. He had 27 points in the game, including 4 monster dunks. Three-pointer taken and missed by Stayskull of the Warriors in the far corner. They go to Bernard again. 3 times. Yes! 3 for 3. A hat trick of dunks. And the crowd loves it. Bernard putting on a show. The boy's got springs in his shoes. What a monster tonight. He had a big game. Big reason why the Blue Devils would win. Also scoring a lot of points for the Blue Devils, including Mason Carlson. He had 18. Kyle Williams had 14. For the losers in this game, the Deer River Warriors, they had 51 points, paced by Noah Williams. He did some real good work with some up and unders down in the low post. Finishes the game with 14 points. Also scoring, Kyle Shevich hit a couple big threes. Fox breaks through 2 defenders, passes it to Shevich for 3. Buries it from the far corner. Just what the Warriors needed. He finished with 8 points, and Ty Morrison had 12. Once again, the final score, the Virginia Blue Devils win 73-51 over the Deer River Warriors. Unfortunate to see the Warriors lose this one, but it happens. Up next for the winners, the Blue Devils are going to play at home on Tuesday, January 22nd. They're against International Falls. For the Warriors, their next game will be at home Monday, the 21st. They're going to play Barnum. I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight. This is 96.9 KMFY, KMFYradio.com.
Thank you, David. So the Blue Devils defeat Deer River in boys basketball last night. Other boys basketball in the Northland. Here's a good one. Southridge, 82-80 over Silver Bay. It was, Superior, 79-62 over Denfeld. Aiken falls to Pequot Lakes, 68-39. Fond du Lac Ojibwe, 63-55 winners over Chisholm. Detroit Lakes, 70-38 over Park Rapids area. Greenway, big time over Northland, 73-34. It was Barnum edging Isle 62-60. Two Harbors 65-47 over Renshaw. Brainerd 75-49 over Sauk Rapids Rice. Mesabi East 70-61 defeating International Falls. Proctor holds Eveleth Gilbert to 28 points, a 58-28 win there. Big Fork all over Little Fork Big Falls in the battle for all the silverware, 86-38. Any other ones you'd like to highlight, Sheldon? There's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on, and I was saying there weren't a lot of close games last night, but one close one, MIB over Ely in a good 7A matchup, 69-63. Esco pounds Floodwood 95-48. And, yeah, that's about it. Barnum and Carleton, no score reported, 0-0.
On the, nobody scored a single basket.
No, 0-0 overtime tie.
On the girls' side, we had Cloquet over Crosby Ironton, 53-41. Two Harbors, 67-22 win, defeating Renshaw. Proctor, 10 better than Mesabi East, 71-61. Cromwell Wright, 76-32 over Cook County. Southridge, 69-33 over Silver Bay. Northwoods, big time over Nashwaukee-Waton, 87-44. Let's see, we also had Stillwater, 81-48 over Moorhead. And any other ones catching your eye?
Deer River over Floodwood, 63-53.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, that's about it.
All right, fair enough. We'll take a quick time out here on the Sports Issue. We'll be back with some Wild Wolves and Gophers chatter. The Sports Issue continues next on KUZY.
Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic has been providing orthopedic services to the region for over 30 years. They are providers for most insurance companies, including the St. Luke's Network. They provide non-operative and operative management of injuries and fractures, repetitive work and sports-related injuries, and chronic conditions such as arthritis. Dr. Baker and Jeff Temple accept walk-in appointments for acute orthopedic injuries Monday through Friday from 8 till 4. Call 326-6677. Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic, getting you back to the sport of life.
Here in my car, I feel safest of all.
Why are you singing that song?
Because I have a gorgeous voice. And we're going to Walmart, where you don't have to get out of your car to get fresh groceries. These guys get how busy our family is. We ordered online, and now they're bringing them right to our car for free. Right to our car. It's the only way to live in cars.
It's a good thing you're handsome.
Bow, bow, bow.
Order your groceries online by 1 p.m. for same-day pickup. Download the Walmart grocery app and start shopping now. With free grocery pickup, there are more ways to Walmart.
Cars.
And now, an ad from Dad.
Save money on car insurance when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Yeah. Tell you another way to save money, don't buy those expensive coffees every morning, you know. Then you can save up for a really nice dress shirt. I'm just saying, it's great that you feel comfortable here at work, but, an adult could walk in.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
The OK Factor is a glorious mashup of classical Americana and Gaelic folk influences, featuring cellist Olivia Dirks and violinist Carla Colahan. Their music is infused with Americana and Irish fiddle styles with an artistry that reveals their classical training. You can enjoy the infectious music of OK Factor Tuesday, January 22nd, 7:30 in the Wilcox Theater at the Rife Center in Grand Rapids. Tickets available at rifecenter.org, by phone, or at the Rife box office. Sponsored by Minnesota Public Radio.
If your patio doors stick, squeak, or leak, replace them with Anderson patio doors. Their low-E glass, low-maintenance exteriors, rich wood interiors, and wide range of sizes can turn patio door replacement into serious home improvement.
Stop and see Derek, your Anderson window specialist at Anderson Glass, Grand Rapids.
Today, we're talking with
Andy Klocko.
And I'm Tasha Klocko.
We own and operate Klocko Brewing Company. We, first and foremost, brew beer.
The Klockow's are customers of Woodland Bank.
Woodland, to us, came very highly recommended from multiple people in the community and kind of hit it off with everyone right away and sort of felt like the right thing.
They said choosing to do business in Grand Rapids was an easy choice.
I'm originally from Grand Rapids, born and raised, and when we decided to start our family, every time we talked about opening a brewery, we always would say, oh, well, Grand Rapids doesn't have one yet.
The Klockow's use multiple services at Woodland Bank.
We use business checking, loan services, SASA, and the Saver account. Brian's kind of made it clear that it's a partnership from the beginning. First meetup with him and Wayne, it was just very, very clear that, hey, this is an open and honest thing. We want to help you because if you succeed, we succeed.
Woodland Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
That's the Woodland way.
And welcome back to the Sports Issue here on KOZY. Joe Gigliotti along with Sheldon Willis. Quick check on our forecast. Very cold today, but sunny. A high near 1 below. Wind chills 30 to 40 below. Tonight, clouds on the increase, low of 25 below. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a little warmer or a little less cold, a high near 4. And then chance of snow on Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures warming back up to the mid-teens above 0. Right now, 24 below and sunshine. Our time is 9:20. And you were saying off air, coldest hockey day in Minnesota?
That's what I'm seeing on Twitter. Actual game time temperature for puck drop, Andover, Minnetonka, 26 below 0 air temperature, not wind chill.
And they're getting set to face off in about 10 minutes here. I'm looking at the pregame coverage on FSN. Neither of the anchors have hats on or anything.
Well, they must be in a warmer environment in the press box there.
I don't know. I'm seeing open air behind them.
Wow.
Unless there's some, glass that could be deceiving. I don't know. But let's see. We shift gears now to Timberwolves basketball.
They lose.
Yes,
Next.
they did.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
That was brutal.
They fall 116-113 to San Antonio. And let's get some highlights from this one. Early on, Taj Gibson helping the cause for Minnesota.
On the right side, off the Saric screen, pops on a 15-footer. It's offline. The rebound tapped around. Dario's quickest to it. Back to Wiggins. Up top, his three ball in traffic is blocked. Comes down to Gibson. Beautiful spin move. Gets in by Pirtle, and the reverse layup is there. Taj Gibson, the only one to read that Andrew Wiggins blocked three ball attempt.
Timberwolves led 31-28 after the first. Second quarter action, Gibson again putting Minnesota up by 7.
And now Rose has the rebound, pushes back the other way, down the lane, floats up the shot, short. Tip follow for that man, Taj Gibson. Taj has been active here tonight. That's already his third offensive rebound. 35-28, Wolves have pushed the lead to 7, their largest of the half.
We were actually tied 58-58 at halftime. Third quarter action, Andrew Wiggins putting Minnesota up by 9.
Now off the Gorgie Jang. Mid-range jumper comes up short. Rebound tapped all the way out. Wiggins has it. He'll quick fire on the three and hit. That's his third three of the night, up for 15 for Andrew Wiggins. Timberwolves 13-1 run puts them up by 9.
Timberwolves outscore San Antonio 32-30 in the third, so a very competitive game. But then the Spurs would outscore Minnesota 28-23 in the fourth quarter. They would hang on for the win, helped by LaMarcus Aldridge.
Aldridge working against Gibson, hand back to Patty Mills, out to Bellinelli on the right wing, up fakes a three, but nothing develops. Now it's Forbes down the lane, runs up a wild layup, no, offensive rebound, Aldridge, put back, yes, and the Wolves need a timeout.
And Alan Horton taking us home.
Jeff will trigger in, down by 3 with 4.2 seconds left. Inbound comes to Rose. Derek, couple of dribbles to his left, works behind the arc, double clutches, fires at the buzzer. It's an air ball, and the Spurs hang on for the win, 116 to 113. They got it to Rose inside of midcourt. He worked to his left. He went inside the arc and then went back out, which kind of took his momentum going the wrong way. Then he had a double clutch against the much larger Bertans, and he could get nothing on the shot attempt.
So the Wolves, despite a double-digit second-half lead, do fall to the Spurs. 23 for Karl Anthony Towns, but he only played 21 minutes before following, easy for me to say, out of the game.
It's only a two-syllable word. Fouling.
You're right, is a two-syllable phrase. Let's see, Ryan Saunders here on the foul trouble. See what you did for Karl Anthony Towns.
I think it's one of those things we just got to keep talking to him. Keep talking to him. We're never going to use youth as an excuse or anything, but Karl's maturing it more each and every day. So, we'll talk tomorrow. We'll probably talk tonight, and we'll be better for it on Sunday.
And Towns on the disappointing finish to the game.
I mean, we had a 10-point lead. We didn't close out the show. We didn't do what we needed to do to come out with a win, and that's a disappointing thing about tonight. That's our next step in maturation of our team, and as players, is that the great teams. I've said it before. I'll say it again: is they get a lead, especially a double-digit lead, and they hold on to it or at least build on it.
And Andrew Wiggins says the team really wanted this one.
Oh yeah, it's disappointing. It's never fun to lose, but we just got to have a short-term memory, and try and get the next one. The next couple of games, I feel like we have some, winnable games that we should be able to get, but it's on us.
Derrick Rose with 23 off the bench, 14 for Taj Gibson, plus 11 boards. Aldridge leading the Spurs with a game-high 25 points and 9 rebounds. By the way, Spurs coach Greg Popovich with road win number 520. That ties him for the most in NBA history with Pat Riley, the king of the hair gel, as quite the accomplishment for Popovich.
One interesting note of the game, Andrew Wiggins takes over as second leading scorer all time for the Timberwolves.
Seriously?
Seriously. With 7,174 points. He passes. Who do you think would be second on the all-time Wolves? This is your trivia question for the day. Who did he pass for second place on all-time Wolves scoring? You'll never get it.
Kevin Love.
Sam Mitchell.
Sam Mitchell?
And, of course, was 7,100 and change. Number one all-time is, of course...
KG.
Yes, with 19,000.
Okay.
So the gap between 1 and 2 is significant.
So now after the Wolves got their...
but Kevin Love was a good guess. I like that.
Thank you. So after the Wolves got that emotional coaching debut win for Ryan Saunders, Wolves have now lost 3 of 4. It kind of seems like the honeymoon's a little bit over now. After
it was a short one.
It was, yes.
Well, with shotgun weddings like this, there are sometimes short honeymoons.
So now the Wolves will they'll have a home and home with Phoenix, and then the Lakers on the schedule next week. So some winnable games here for Minnesota, but
they need Covington back. This is not the same team without Covington.
So we'll keep an eye on our Wolves moving forward. College hockey action from last night. Bemidji State, a 4-3 overtime win over Michigan Tech. That was on Lake Bemidji, so they got the outdoor
yes, they did.
Thing going last night as well. Overtime winner goes to Dylan Eichelstadt at 3:05 of overtime. Let's see. Micah Miller gets his first college goal for St. Cloud State.
Knocks in a rebound. That was a good deal.
As they defeated Western Michigan 3-0. It was Notre Dame over Wisconsin 6-4. Alaska out of Fairbanks 4-1 over Bowling Green.
UMD getting a win.
Yes, and I know North Dakota played as well. If I can dig up their score real quick here.
I think the UMD was, 4-0 over Miami of Ohio?
And North Dakota 4-3 win over Omaha. On the women's side, big matchup last night. Number 2 and number 1 in the nation, Wisconsin and the Golden Gophers. Wisconsin coming in number 1, and they defeat number 2 Minnesota by a score of 2-1. Let's see. Minnesota Wild still struggling to put in goals, especially on Thursday night against Anaheim. It was pretty much over in the first 8 minutes. You're shaking your head.
Yeah, this team is in dismantle stage right now. Paul Fenton's pulling the trigger. Said I've had enough patience. I've watched these guys. We need new guys. So it's blowing it up.
And I'd say fairly minor moves this week. Nino Niederreiter does go to Carolina for Victor Rask, and then Justin Kluse traded to Anaheim for Pontus Aberg. And here's Aberg on Rask.
Yeah, I've known him for a while. That's a big guy, strong on the puck, with who can finish and make plays. So I think you can use him in every way to both kill and power plays. So it's an all-around two-way centerman who can play by both ways.
And Mikko Koivu wanting the Wild to finish off the homestand strong tonight when they take on Columbus on Hockey Day.
Well, I think always if you lose at home or on the road, but especially on the home ice, you want to bounce back and play good. I think we don't want to, for sure. I think you always look for the win, but we can't look too far ahead of ourselves. We got to play a good hockey game and build on that, and I believe the result will follow that.
And Matt Dumba addressing the media for the first time since his injury against Calgary. And here's Dumba on if he thinks he'll be back before the end of the season.
Well, we'll find out more once I have this brace off and you start getting more of an opportunity to see. It's a slower process because you have to gain that range of motion back and be slow with it. It's not something you can rush at all. So it's kind of still the doctors aren't really giving me much as of right now. We'll know more.
Dumba injured in a fight earlier this year against Calgary, so hopefully they get him back. He's much needed on the back line.
So Kobe, we got Kobe Koenig still here, and we didn't make him comment on basketball. Are you a basketball fan at all?
No, I don't watch too much basketball.
But hockey.
Yeah.
What's wrong? I make you GM of the Wild for a day. What do?
Oh God, I can't explain it. They seem to outshoot every team that they play, and they still can't get a win. I think the other night the Philly game, they were lost 7-4. I think Philly had 26 shots on net or something.
Yeah, that's right. And the Wild in that game were up by I know 2-0 and 3-1.
I don't know what's happening.
And then they can't score against Anaheim.
No, I can't explain it.
And whichever goalie comes in and relief plays well, whichever goalie starts doesn't do well.
Yeah, I can't
Doobie. He looks terrible against Philly in the first period. Gets pulled for Stalock. Stalock looks great. Stalock looks like a JV goalie against Anaheim. Gets pulled.
We have two great goalies, but I don't
up and down.
Yeah,
up and down. Do you ever? I guess how do you handle goalies in your experience? Because goalies' mistakes are always so magnified. You make a mistake, no one knows or cares, except maybe the coach when he breaks down the film will yell at you, but no one else.
Exactly. No. Obviously, you've probably heard of goalie dads and, all the pressure that they get under because, the spotlight's on their kid.
Oh, I didn't want to be around Mr. Holm at all during game days.
Exactly.
He was just like hair on fire.
Exactly. No, you need to, as a player, you just need to keep their confidence up. I think confidence is key with goalies and, just give them the support on the back end.
And is it ever? Do you ever go to the? You just no. I can't. I just just let me go to the bench.
Sometimes,
let me go to the bench.
And right now, the Wild 1 point out of the second wild card spot. Surprising Vancouver has slipped into that second wild card spot as of this morning. So. We'll take, before we take a quick timeout, quick preview of Golden Gopher hockey taking on Michigan State here this afternoon. They play a weird Saturday-Sunday here this weekend.
4 o'clock?
4 o'clock pregame, 4:30 drop of the puck. Goaltender Matt Robson on the Michigan State arena and the ice.
Definitely being able to skate there, they have very lively end boards.
and they look to make plays off of them, and it's a pretty cool arena for sure. And I think a couple more games here, I'll have a little bit more to share with you guys.
Gophers coming off a big sweep over Notre Dame last weekend, including 2 game-winning goals by former Thunderhawk Blake McLaughlin. Gophers have won 3 straight. They are 9-8-4 overall and 6-3-3 in the Big Ten. Just a couple of points out of first place. Robson says one of the keys this weekend will be slowing down the Michigan State top line.
They're just 3 extremely talented players. Obviously, they play really well together, and that's why their line hasn't been broken up. And you can see it on the leaderboards. They're getting points day in and day out. And Kodorenko is kind of like their shooter. Hiroshi looks to set everyone up, and Lewandowski's just a threat all over the offensive zone. So definitely we'll be looking to shut them down. And I'm not going to take any of the shots lightly, but put a little more emphasis knowing where each of those guys are on the ice when they're attacking the net.
And finally, Robson on the Minnesota freshmen coming into their own.
Just a bunch of young, hardworking kids. Not a lot of size to a few of them, but they worked really hard in the summer in the gym with Cal. And like I said, the hard work, you can't teach something like that. So I think that's why you're seeing a lot of success out of them right now.
Gophers and Michigan State featuring former Thunderhawk Mitchell Madsen. 4 o'clock pregame, 4:30, drop at the puck. We'll take a quick timeout on the sports issue. We'll be back with more Kobe Koenig. We'll talk some Rapids hockey here on the sports issue, KUZY.
Minnesota News Network, I'm Brent Palm. Thousands are expected at the state capitol and throughout the country today as part of a coordinated women's march. Local organizer Elisa Donahue says it's time to celebrate the empowerment of women after the last election.
That is absolutely the most amazing thing that can come from marches like this, is to have women recognize their true value in this world and step up and run for office.
At the Women's March in 2017, more than 110,000 Minnesotans turned up at the state capitol. Well, Take a Kid Ice Fishing Weekend kicks off today. The DNR's Jeff Lederman says,
I'd love to see folks get out and take the opportunity to introduce others to the outdoors, adults and kids, and to help them get excited about that and hopefully become better connected with our natural resources.
Minnesotans ages 16 and older can fish free as long as they're accompanied with a kid through Monday. This is MNN.
Did you know that if you start the year with a Medicare Advantage plan, you can change plans between January 1st and March 31st? You can choose a new Advantage plan, return to the original Medicare Parts A and B, and enroll in a Part D plan. Sounds complicated, but Minnesota's Senior Linkage Line can help. Call 1-800-333-2433 and talk to a Medicare expert to find the plan that's best for you.
Hi, Grandma. Can Nina come over for dinner?
Sure. I've been meaning to ask you, what would happen if someone offered you a drink?
Grandma!
If anyone ever does, I want you to say, no, I have too much respect for my family and I don't want to get in trouble.
I promise, Grandma.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. That's underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. This message brought to you by SAMHSA and this station.
Hi, I'm Greg Bell, the host of When Radio Was.
Now look, Minter. When I saw you last night, you didn't know my name. You've been asking questions around, huh? Yeah. Well, so have I. Come on, Gumshoe. We're going to take a little walk. Now look, kid, you're all wrong. After we take that little walk, we're going to take a little ride.
When Radio Was. Show for today's imaginations.
When Radio Was. Saturdays at 10 o'clock on 1320 KOZY.
Okay, here are 5 important reasons why your son or daughter should play a high school sport.
Number 1.
High school sports teach valuable life lessons like self-discipline, sportsmanship, and time management skills.
2.
Teens who play a high school sport have better grade point averages and fewer disciplinary problems.
Number 3.
High school sports help fight teen obesity and substance abuse.
Here's number 4.
High school sports provide wholesome, constructive after-school activity, perfect for today's families.
And number 5.
And high school sports are safer than ever before. Injury surveillance and research, better equipment, and and the continuing education programs for coaches provided by state and national athletic associations have made high school sports safer than ever before.
This message presented by the Minnesota State High School League and the Minnesota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Classic Radio weather.
Here's your KOZY weatherology forecast. A wind chill advisory continues until noon today. Bright sunshine this afternoon with highs around 2 below. Northwesterly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lows level off around 25 below. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies. Partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, high temperatures reach up to 3 above. About an inch of snow Monday. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Jennifer Vuchitsky. Right now, 18 below.
Jaeger at the half wall, leaves it for Koenig. Koenig circles, gets a shot to goal! Kobe Koenig makes it 2-0 Grand Rapids. Koenig, little room shot, goal! Kobe Koenig makes it 6-3. Now has Peart back at the blue line. Peart had tried to pinch in, and Holcomb couldn't find him. Now back to Peart. They'll try to do it from that side. Shot that goes just wide, and Koenig scores! Koenig picks up the rebound. Nicely done. Tucks it past Latvian. It's 3-2 on a power play goal. Centering pass. That's intercepted. And another breakaway for Koenig. Comes in. Shot. Goal! Ruby Koenig, and we're tied up.
And welcome back to the Sports Issue here on KOZY. Well, Sheldon, I told Kobe that if nobody else from Rapids Hockey joins him this morning, he's going to get the whole montage to himself, and that's what we did.
Well, of course. You stick around and help us out, Kobe, and we give you the props here.
Yeah, luckily golf isn't on today. I would be here all day.
Yeah, there you go. We just go right through. We're going to switch to, we talked a lot of fishing, and we've been talking a little college hockey. One of the fun things you say, you try to follow some of the previous Thunderhawks, especially the ones that you've known over the last few years as they make their mark in college hockey. Is that fun to follow?
Yeah, definitely. Playing with Blake, Micah, and Gavin a couple years ago. We're obviously friends, and I look up to those guys, and so to see them succeed at the college level, it's pretty cool to see, and they all have goals now. So
there you go. Micah getting his first one last night. He's one of the guys that he has a tough time breaking into that St. Cloud State lineup. They've got a loaded lineup.
Yeah, obviously being top ranked St. Cloud. They're a powerhouse in college hockey, and so to be able to even get some playing time, that's pretty cool to see.
And not knocking in the rebound, and for Blake McLaughlin, he's getting solid playing time at the U, and that team seems to be playing significantly better as the season has gone along.
Yeah, obviously they're a young team. The Gophers always seem to have people leave that program early, and that's one of the reasons that they're known so well, because they move so many guys to the NHL. But for Blake to be playing on the third line, it's really awesome.
Now, as we go to Grand Rapids hockey, certainly we all still have fresh in our minds the state championship, as I'm sure you do, and I think everyone expected a drop off. Talk a little bit about playing through last year and this year now, because expectations are different and talent level's different. It's just a different year, different group, different goals.
Yeah, like you said, last year was obviously a struggle, losing that many guys. It's hard to come back from that. Growing up in the youth level with those guys, we relied on them all the time to go out and score the goals and win the games for us. And so last year we just didn't have that. And so this year, with the sophomore group coming in and a little bit more experience for us older kids, I think the mentality is that, we're able to, win these games, and, we should win these games and come out on top.
Well, and I've sensed that the attitude and the compete level has been
a lot different this year. You looked around last year and you said, "Oh, who's going to be on the power play?" There's no one playing here that's played a power play.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it showed, right? Because it was you always had, whether it was Gavin or Blake or the guys that were out there to do that. Talk a little bit about the sophomore group. There's a lot of first year varsity players that are 1 year removed from Bantam hockey on this year's team. You remember doing that. How hard is it, and what's impressed you with this year's sophomore group?
Yeah, like you said, the sophomores have kind of been forced to come in and play a key role on our team, and so there's a lot of them, and they're, all the way from the first line to the fourth line, and so, I think just getting the experience under their belt through the first half of the year, that's huge. Obviously, like you said, my sophomore year, playing in as many games as I could. There was only 3 of us my sophomore year, and we didn't have to really play a key role because of all those other guys.
When you were playing JV,
yep,
and then you'd get on for a period or so of varsity most nights,
yep,
and a couple shifts, and that'd be your varsity stuff.
Yeah. So I suited every game my sophomore year, but I didn't necessarily play in all of them. I think I played maybe in half of them. If we were up by a couple of goals, but to be able to get that experience my sophomore year was huge. Going into my junior year, I think, just to be able to say that, I've had experience at the varsity level, I think that's huge going into further years. And so for all these sophomores to get that experience early on, I think it's going to make them a better hockey player.
And how much confidence was built with the 7-1 win over a very struggling Hibbing team? I'm wondering, it was a lot of goals, but considering the competition, all due respect, how was the confidence level after that?
Yeah, it was obviously nice to get a win. We'd gone quite a few games without, putting the puck in the back of the net, and so be able to see some pucks going in, I think that's definitely going to build our team, going into the last few games of the year.
Well, and as far as putting pucks in the net, other than the Cloquet game, you've been scoring a few anyways. Three goals against East, 3 goals against Hermantown, who are obviously top teams in the state of Minnesota. If you just allow 2 like Brainerd, you could have beat East with those 3 goals.
Yeah, no kidding. No,
it shocked you, didn't it?
Earlier, talking about that.
You played both teams and you're shocked.
Yeah, definitely. No, I felt like that Brainerd game, we definitely should have come out on top, and I don't know if you're still running the air or not, but getting bag skated after the Brainerd game.
That ever happened to you
That has never happened to me, where I've had to put on my practice jersey and gone back out. But it was deserved. It was.
Shall we say, if you go to that Brainerd, the Brainerd YouTube video, I was still running the video when that started.
Yeah.
Or
don't go watch it. Yeah.
But all of a sudden, you see the coaches come out, and I had forgotten the video. Usually I have it off by then. I wasn't trying to show you guys up at all, and doing my thing and packing up. I had a little more to do that night than some nights, and all of a sudden, I thought it was, a bunch of warm-up jerseys out, and I just glanced, and my first thought was, we got a men's league thing going on, or some rec hockey or something going on, and no, I recognized the coaches, and it was like, oh my. Yeah. No one was real happy after that game.
No, it wasn't our greatest game, not the best effort, and it was well deserved. It sent a great message that we need to start competing, or we're going to fall off. So.
And I hear the locker room never looked better after that game as well.
Yeah, definitely. It sent a message all the way from the ice in the locker room.
And as one of the captains, is that something you have to buy into as well, and back up the coaches and say, hey, look, we deserve this. Now let's pull our act together and do what we're supposed to do?
Yeah, definitely. I think us captains, we kind of play that, like, the middleman role between the coaches and the players, and so I think we need to address that message as well in the locker room, just talking to the guys and making sure that they're doing all the responsible stuff.
And we mentioned how young the team is. I looked, I think starting lineup against Hibbing was 4 sophomores and 2 juniors on the ice. Is there a different attitude with sophomores oftentimes, and you have to wake them up a little bit and say, hey, we can have fun, but this is serious, or do they get it?
Yeah, I think that's just the experience thing that I was talking about before. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, right away in the first half of the season, but towards the end of the season, and especially now, I think, everyone needs to start stepping up, not just the sophomores, but seniors and juniors in general.
Well, and I've had people tell me, former coaches and coaches, by now, you don't treat the sophomores as sophomores anymore. They've got almost a year. They're juniors now. Go at it.
Yep. No, they need to, they've done their part throughout the first half of the year, but now everyone as a whole needs to, play their role.
What will it take? And I know this team has been very competitive against some top quality teams. I look at the Hermantown game and say, I've told people that I thought you were marginally the better team on the ice that game, and you just didn't quite get the breaks or make it happen. What does it take to start converting those into wins and showing up here in the last couple weeks?
Yeah, I just think basically the last 5 to 10 minutes of the game is huge. Going into it, if we're tied or down by 1 goal, just having that mentality that we need to score in these last 5 to 10 minutes. Basically saying that there's no other option. We need to get a win, and I think the message of that wasn't super clear. And again, that's experience. A lack of experience, but I think throughout these last few games, we need to just start pulling some wins together in those last 5-10 minutes, especially.
And as I look at this team, it's more balanced than any Rapids team that I've seen in the past few years. Mm-hmm. 2-3 years ago, you're depending on, maybe 3 or 4 guys. That's it. Those are the guys that are going to score. The rest of us just hold serve until Blake and Gavin get out there again. Or,
exactly.
And now it doesn't matter which line is out there. You need to score.
Mm-hmm.
Any one of the 4 lines.
Yeah, exactly. We're rolling all 4 lines, especially during the Hibbing game. Our 4th line, I think, had 2 or 3 goals, and so that's great to see. Just getting, again, that confidence piece throughout our entire lineup, not just a couple guys scoring, like you said a couple years ago. It was just like, just send Blake, Gavin, Mike out there. They'll get a goal for us. So
well, and leave them stay out for the last 5 minutes of the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it seemed like they would do that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You'd get a couple stoppages of play, 1 time out, and all of a sudden you say, geez, these guys have played the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's a unique scenario. You don't always get 3 high-caliber players like that.
Goaltender Carter Clafton has kept you guys in a lot of games this year. What makes him good?
Oh, he's a great goalie. Obviously he's had the experience of going to these national events and that kind of stuff, and so I think that just makes it makes everyone a better player when you get that experience and you get recognition for how good you're doing, and so I think that just builds into his confidence, and obviously he's a growing athlete, and so I think that's huge. He's obviously quick in net, and that makes a big deal. So
he reminds me a lot of Zach.
Yeah.
Zach Stainscoll. I've kidded on the air that he must have the same goalie coach, which I know he does. But just that nice lateral movement and staying square to the puck and staying so quiet in net.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he's very kind of under control.
The anti-Gabe Holm.
Yeah, Gabe was pretty nuts in net. You can make any diving saves that you could think of. But no, Karts is definitely, like you said, he's steady in net, and, he just covers everything up. And so, like you said, I know, Derek Peterson doesn't get enough recognition, and I think he does a great job for our program, and, can't thank him enough.
And coaching goalies has to be one of those really, really tough things, because I know there's technique involved, but there's some individuality, and it's such a mental game.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. No, I can't.
Have you ever tried it? Have you ever had pads on?
I actually owned pads.
Owned pads?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, in squirts. I remember playing, in between the second and third period with varsity games and having the pads on, and yeah, that was experience, but that grew away. That kind of went away quick.
That got old.
Yeah.
What got old about it? What didn't you?
It's a lot more work than you think.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think just standing in net would be that hard, but no, it's a workout, and like we were talking before, spotlight's on you, and so I don't know if I could handle that or not.
And I forget what NHL goaltender it was it might have been Jacques Plante who said, "You think your job has pressure? When I make a mistake, a big red light goes on and 20,000 people boo."
Yeah, exactly. And everyone's going, "Siv, yeah."
And we've talked about, the goal is always to get to the state tournament, and I know there's 5 wins or 6 wins on
Five wins
on the year so far. So I don't know that around the state anyone says, "Oh yeah, Grand Rapids at state this year," but that's always the goal, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that lack of importance to other teams kind of plays into possible success for us, and I think a lot of teams may overlook us coming into the playoffs, and so that I think getting a higher seed early might benefit us. They might be looking forward to other games that they might have, and we can catch them early.
Well, and I know certainly the Cloquet loss hurts, but with QRF seeding, any win is a good win, any loss is a bad loss.
Yeah.
But from 3 through 6 and 7 AA is still completely undecided.
Yeah, it's very tight. No, I think Forest Lake is ahead of us in the QRF, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. So 3 through 7.
So, yeah. Yeah. So no, it's definitely tight. I think, we were looking at the QRF the other day, and we're not that many points out of, that 4th spot. And so I think if we can just start getting some wins here at the end of the season, that'll really benefit us.
And we talked about the big section matchup with Duluth Marshall coming up at home on Tuesday. That's a big one. You get Cloquet again. Any other section games?
I think that's it for section games. But no, definitely. If we can get some wins in these section games, I think that'll really help us with seeding and obviously getting the confidence up.
Well, and up until last year, you really circled those section games because that's all that anyone looked at.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, you upset Edina, people would think about that. But otherwise, it was the coaches looking at the head-to-head section games.
Yeah,
and now with the QRF, doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. No, those city games, going down to the Edina Classic a couple years ago, and obviously going down to the cities almost every weekend. It seemed like our sophomore year, along with this year, going every other year down there. But it basically only helped with overall state rankings, whereas with this QRF, every game counts. And so I think getting that mentality again that we need to start winning games, that's huge.
There's no substitute for a win, right?
No, not at all.
And pretty easy to see why defenseman Jack Peart is a D1 commit for St. Cloud. How much do you guys lean on him, and what makes him so special?
Yeah, Jack he's a unique player. Like we were talking before about a month and a half ago, he's kind of just a combination of every defenseman that I've grown up with, that I've looked up to with that team a couple years ago. And so, with how young he is, I think that's, it's amazing to see the player that he is as a sophomore. And, I can't explain it, but he's just got something special.
And he does everything pretty well.
Yeah.
There's not really a weakness in his game, especially as a sophomore. You don't see him get out-muscled much. But what has made my eyes open wide, my jaw drop, is his long passes.
Yeah.
You better have your stick on the ice as a forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
From 100 feet away, all of a sudden, through 2 players, the puck hits your tape.
Exactly. No, just like that Roseau game, I was coming out of the box, he just gets the puck. He just gets the puck and he automatically knows I'm there. I don't even know if his eyes were looking at me or not, but he's got a great vision for the game, and he's so controlled with the puck, and I just think that's, not every player has that, and it's definitely something special.
Well, I know early in the season I said forwards better get used to putting their sticks on the ice, because there were some icing calls as like, hey, it was there, and
exactly.
That's kind of come as the season has gone along. You're now ready for those.
Yeah, no, and I think practice has a big thing to do with that. Jack has the puck in practice. You're trying to get open. Same thing goes for the game.
Yeah, and another one of the sophomores that I've been impressed with the vision and puck sense. You've had him on your line some of the year is Hunter Bischoff. He he's one of those guys that seems to see things develop before they happen.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Hunter's, definitely grown into a great player throughout, a short amount of time this year. And I think just getting that confidence up, that's huge. And, like he said, he has great vision for the game, just like Jack. And I love playing on a line with him because all I have to do is get open. He's going to find me.
There's something a little bit that reminds me of you as a sophomore. You say, "Come on, if you can gain about 15 pounds, a little
exactly. No,
he still has a sophomore. Still has a sophomore body, right?
Yeah. So did I.
Yeah. But he'll get there, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And who else? Highlight some other players off of the underclassmen that have come up and really impressed this year.
Yeah, Braden Holcomb, going off of a great vision for the game. Braden Holcomb, he's a pass-first type of guy, and so to be I would love to be on his line, just like...
Except you're both centers.
Yeah, exactly. But, just like Hunter, just to get open, he'll find you. And he's a great playmaker as well as
you end up on the power play with him.
Yep. Yeah, he's on the half wall during the power play, and he moves the puck around great, as well as John Bonner. John's definitely early on we were just telling him to shoot. He's got a great shot, and these last few games he's just starting to shoot the puck more, and he's seen the puck go in the back of the net, as well as all the other sophomores are making huge strides throughout the season. So,
and John is one of those guys who maybe doesn't have that sophomore body. He's a tough kid.
Yeah. No, he's definitely got that.
Maybe from getting beat around by football for a while.
I was just going to say that he's got that football player. Got that football player build, but
he's built a lot like Jonah Bischoff, low and wide, and you're not going to knock him off the puck. Yeah. So, and I know the Bantam AA team. By the way, they're playing at a tournament here this weekend.
They're playing right now.
All right.
Game at 8:00. Yep.
Okay. So it's just getting over now.
Just getting over, yeah.
Boy, we're going overtime here, Super Joe. Sorry about that. When you have good guests that are fun to talk to, But the Bantam AA team having a good year. There'll be some sophomores on next year's team as well.
Yeah, that's a great team. Obviously, they have a few studs that I would expect will go places in the future. But no, I think they're in the top 10 right now in the state, and they're looking to, again, continue their win streaks throughout the season and hopefully go to the playoffs. I know. Last year I think they were kind of stripped of a state tournament spot, and so I think for those first years last year at the Bantam level, they're definitely hungry to go to the state tournament.
Well, thanks for sticking around, Kobe. Yeah. We'll have to pay you for this. You've been here so long.
No problem. Thank you.
Been a lot of fun, and good luck fishing. Good luck hockey.
Thank you.
And golf.
Yeah.
We'll get you.
Yeah, golf season's coming up.
Yeah, it is.
Just put the bill on Jim's desk there, Kobe.
All right.
And thanks so much, everybody, for joining us here today. And big thank you to our sponsors. Northern Pines Orthopedic Clinic, Woodland Bank, Dowlinger Ford, Anderson Glass, and Super One Foods. For Sheldon Willis, I'm Joe Gigliotti. This has been The Sports Issue on KOZY.
1320 KOZY Grand Rapids, your hometown radio station.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. At this hour, President Trump arriving at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware, where he's scheduled to meet with families of the 4 Americans killed this week in Syria that was caused